Well, my story is that I had watched my children, my friends, graduate, and they all had this glow about them. And I couldn't figure out why they had this wonderful glow about them. So I decided that I wanted that same glow. So I decided to go back to school after I'd got beyond my initial testing period and gotten my classes. You'd be surprised how many folk did not know that I was a celebrity per se.
Yeah.
I didn't make a big whoop about it. I was just an older student. At the time I entered Delgado, I was 45 years old. It was never too late. In fact, there was a commercial at the time I decided to go back that was saying that you're never too old to learn. It's never too late to go back to school. And so I made up my mind that I didn't know what it was I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to graduate. I wanted to have that feeling, and I wanted that piece of paper saying that I had accomplished that. Because I didn't need a job. I wasn't going back to school to prepare for a job.
Right.
I had a job, but I just wanted to have that feeling. I didn't want to get it honorarily. I think I floated more than most.
Yes.
At the time I graduated, which was some 15 years later, there was a song I called I Believe I Could Fly. And trust me, I was flying. I even sung at my graduation. In fact, ironically, I was told that was the first year that all of the professors showed up at the graduation. My band was there in support of me, and they actually played while I sung. And to make sure I sung the correct words, I had my cheat sheet paper in my hand, and I was singing, and tears was meeting under my chin, but I never stopped singing. When I tell you I was floating, when I think about it now, I well up because I didn't, you don't know how great I felt about that accomplishment, even though it took me forever to do it because I was working, doing tours, stopping and starting and doing tours and what have you. I was determined to get that diploma. And I never stopped feeling it, ironically. Still feel it, even though it's been quite a few years now. And the same year I graduated, my grandchildren, I had two granddaughters who graduated that same year, not from college but from high school. And we took pictures together. Unfortunately, Katrina has removed those from our possession, but it was like the family day of graduation week. I attended their graduation, and they attended mine, and we all went to the place and got pictures done. I mean, it was just one of those, like Andre said, those speechless, timeless moments that it'll always be there. I came back for Andre's graduation as the speaker, which was another monumental task for me. I mean, I felt so honored that they thought of me in that way to actually want me to be the inspirational speaker. For those who may not have known, I had no crib sheets, no cheat sheets. I did not write out a speech. I spoke from the heart. Because when I started out, I was doing general studies. And my CPA told me, Irma, if you take business classes, you can deduct it off your taxes. All of my dependents had grown up, so I had no tax dependents. So if I can go to school and get that as a tax deduction and still learn something, fine. So I took business studies, and ironically, yes, it did help me in my profession. When it says show, the word behind show is what?
Business.
There you go. Well, yeah, Andre was my poster. She would come at least once a month or once every other. Well, actually, she would do twice a month because to keep it from getting so far behind, because I had receipts and expenses that needed to be posted. And she would come. She was in school at the time, and that's what that gave her an opportunity to see what it's like to be able to start posting things. Now, whether or not that was a career she had in mind, that was the one she got started with me. It helped her in her classwork because when she had to do when you have to do your internship, I guess that's the word. She was able to take that because by the time she got to hers, she had been doing mine for over 10 years. The year that I graduated, I was told that there was an uptick of about almost 10% enrollment of seniors. When I'm saying seniors, those of us who had matured, who were out of school and had been contemplating going back, there was an uptick of almost 10% enrollment of people who were coming back to Delgado to complete their education or to get an education on changing jobs or something of that nature. And because of that, Ms. Devendahl made the suggestion, said, well, Irma, since you were a student here, why don't we do something to kind of help these folk? And I said, well, what could we do? And she explained it to me, and we started the Wise Women Center.
Right.
I have been a people person all my life. That's what happens when you're an only child. So I don't have a problem with talking to people of giving them inspiration, because I keep telling people maybe I should have gone into psychiatry. You'd be surprised how many people walk up to me and just start telling me their life story.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just do it. I don't know. Do I look like I should be in that business? I don't know. But I listen. I guess I'm a good listener.
Mm-hmm.
But prior to formulating the Wise Women's Center, I had been coming over with, Melanie had asked me to come over and speak with some of the students who were matured and some that were not mature, who were having some difficulties and some second thoughts about, being in school and not really wanting to complete it. And I would come over and we would do like on Saturdays, early Saturday mornings, and I would come over and I would talk to them. And I guess out of that, Melanie decided to just formulate this program that that's now 10 years old and has been doing this for 10 years. That, it was such a wonderful way to encourage and keep them on board with getting their education and making them aware that, yes, it's going to be difficult at times. And it's not going to always seem like it's worth it, but in the end, you'd be surprised how much you have achieved and how much better your life becomes because you're much more knowledgeable of what's going on around you, business-wise. I was able to tell the story because being a single mother at one point, I was a single mother for several years with 4 children, not one, but with 4, up until I remarried. So I could tell them from experience. It wasn't something that I read in a book. It wasn't something that somebody told. It was something that I had experienced. So I was able to give them the benefit of my experience, and evidently it's been working because they keep coming back. That was the whole point. We wanted them to see that they were not the only ones who have struggles. And I made it a point to make them aware that I still have my times of struggling. People don't want to believe it, but in show business, you have your moments of struggles, even though you're in a business that you love. I'm doing what I enjoy doing, but I have my moments. I would say it's a little better that there are times when I'm on stage singing and I'll hit a note and I'll kind of say, did I really just do that? I would be lying if I said I did. Andre can tell you I'm a game show network
Wheel of Fortune.
I do not practice unless I have to. Well, not so much saving the voice. I just haven't found a need to do it. I mean, even prior to going on stage, other than saying my little private prayer, I don't do anything in general or specific to get prepared to go on stage. I may drink a little warm water when it's winter time to warm up my vocal cords. In all honesty, no, I don't do anything. I don't have any ritual that I go to. I probably talk a little bit too much to people because if someone comes up and want to have a conversation, I'll have a conversation with them. But no, I don't do anything, no rituals of any kind. Even when I shouldn't have been. I lost my voice back in 66 for about 3 months because of a rigorous tour in England prior to the Rolling Stones doing Time Is on My Side. And my believe it or not, there's a young man that you guys know that's on television whose grandfather was my he was my throat specialist. Dr. Zurich, that's Lee Zurich's grandfather. That was my throat specialist. And he gave me some advice that I pass on to all singers. Never try to out-sing the band. Never suck a lemon. And always rest. Always rest in between jobs. If you got, make sure you get a proper enough rest whenever, because when you're doing tours and you're doing 30-day tours, you need at least one 24-hour day when you don't do anything. Relax the voice and give the voice a chance to rest. And he taught me some things about how to properly breathe when singing. So other than that, I don't do anything. That's the only advice and teachings that I've gotten in this business. And until this day, I give him credit for my being able to do the things I do vocally. Well, first of all, it has been brought to my attention. I have been at some functions, not necessarily in the area where we're going to have mine, but I have been to functions, in fact, participated in functions at Delgado. And then on one occasion when I received my other award that my daughter spoke at and was given, it was held in that particular building, but I wasn't aware that we could use all of that building to do it. And so, I wanted it to be a situation where people who were younger than 21 could attend,
Mm-hmm.
and if they wanted to. I was offered to go to Tips, which is another spot that people like,
Yeah.
but I wasn't aware that they could accommodate younger people. If my other child, which is Andre's baby, wanted to attend, I wasn't sure that he could if we had it there.
Right.
So we inquired, and the date that I wanted was available, so I said, why not? And so that's why we're having it there. I mean, why not? I mean, parking is beautiful,
Yes.
available,
Mm-hmm.
and it's on campus. Maybe when some of those who attend may decide to become students, you never know. I always encourage a lot of my high school graduates who are coming out of high school, undecided on where they wanted to attend.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell them that Delgado is a school where your classes, most of your classes that you take that are required, they are transferable. So why not get all your prerequisites out of the way by going to the Delgado Community College? That way you'll get the feel of what it's like being in college without spending exorbitant amount of money. My advice, and have been very grateful because of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I always encourage them, if you can, continue. Don't just take your prerequisite at Delgado and then say, okay, well, I got this out of the way. I got my 2-year degree. I'm going to stop. I always make them aware that it's better to go ahead on and get it done and get it out of the way before you get other things to come into play that you have to be responsible for. So, and they've taken my advice. Quite a few of them have taken my advice.
Right.
I also make a lot of the, what I say seniors, but I would rather say matured.
Right.
Matured students, I make them aware that Delgado do offer quite a few classes in the evening for those who are working during the day.
Yes.
There are classes that are offered in the evenings. I'm not sure, and I'm not aware if they have started some on Saturdays yet or not. I don't know. But I do know that there are some classes that are offered in the evening for those folk who are working, and that's the reason Delgado has been able to have an uptick in enrollment for those working class people who have jobs, who want to go back to school
Right.
for whatever reasons to increase their paycheck or to be able to apply for better jobs. This is offered, and the classes that they want are offered in evening courses. So, that's a plus that a lot of colleges don't offer. I get as much pleasure out of hearing someone saying that because you told me about it or you said something that encouraged me to go back to school. That's the best gift anybody could give me. Come out and enjoy the festivities and the fact that I am reaching my, what is it called, my silver anniversary.
Silver.
For those who cannot make it, they can go to www.dcc.edu/Irma.
There you go.
And they can make donations. We if your presence can't be there, then your credit card and your money can. If you want to give me a gift, that would be the gift that I would truly appreciate.
Absolutely.
Those who are listening in, who says, "Well, what do you get, Irma Thomas?" You make a donation to the Wise Women Center,
Right.
and it will, trust me, it goes to a worthy and good cause. We don't just help women, we help young men as well. So we're not prejudiced against the guys. We help as many guys as we can and the women. So, it's a helpful situation to everyone involved, and that would be the best birthday gift anyone could give me.